part 2 of this video is going to be the bottom half of this 5.7 HEMI 2013 model. We're converting to carbureted to fit in my 68 Dart. It's already got a 2004 HEMI in it, but these have a little more horsepower, especially if you do them right. So let's get into it. To remedy this, today what we're going to do is pop the crank out, and we'll be installing this that I got from eBay from Petty's Garage, which is a 32 tooth Reluctor wheel for 2004 to 2008 5.7 HEMI. And all this is doing is letting that MSD box think, okay, I'm supposed to keep you in time because you're an 04 engine still, when it's really not. So let's get into it, get the oil pan off, and see what we've got to deal with. This engine was shipped to me on a pallet, and I don't think there was any oil in it because it was sitting upright. Let's see here. Oh, nope, there was a little in there. Had a little antifreeze in it actually, but I think that's just where it was stored and got some in the, you know, the block. So get that out of the drain plug there, and we'll get ready to take this pan off. Well, that went smooth. Oil pan dropped down. I mean, you couldn't have done it any better. But when it did hit, what do we have here? That's not... Interesting little device. I guess we'll figure out what that went to. It's not chewed up or anything that I can tell. Not sure where that came from, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be there. So we'll hang on to that and look for something that's missing, whatever this is. As I turned the old girl over here so I can get to the bottom a little better, decided to shove shop rags in here because I was doing what TLC told me not to, and I was chasing waterfalls all across. So we'll see if that helps as we roll her back over here and get back on that oil pan. Hopefully those rags stop it. If it does, I'll start selling them, you know, patent those. Alright, let's carry on. Now that we got the engine rotated and the oil pan off, we'll get these main caps off, work on the connecting rod bolts, and get the crank out of there so we can replace the Reluctor wheel. Alright, got the crankshaft out of the block. Everything is lined up here. I got the Reluctor wheel off the crank. But, as the old saying goes again, one of these is also not like the other. I ordered this from Petty's Garage, 32 tooth Reluctor wheel. Did not realize there are 3 and 4 bolt hole patterns for these. So that's something you need to be careful with. But what I did find, I'm not sure if it's consistent with all of the others, is I have this old crankshaft. It's from an 05 Durango, I believe. But it is a 3 bolt pattern, just like I need, with a 32 tooth Reluctor wheel. Now I would just swap out this crank for the one I have, except for the fact that these journals definitely need some polishing, and the one that I have is actually really nice. So we'll get that swapped over. We're going to go ahead and put a new rear main seal in it because, I mean, it's out. You're ahead. Also, one thing we're going to replace are these main bearings. Some people will say, no, put that back together and run it. It's fine. I say, while it's here, what's the expense in just getting main bearings and put in? The connecting rod bearings are like immaculate. Again, this car had 106,000 miles on it, and I'm not sure if this is from where the sediment came from the oil pump or the cam lobe was wiped out, but we're going to replace on these, and while they're coming in, we can put this back on this crankshaft. And just like that, the 2005 Durango has saved us about 80 bucks on eBay, which is what these things typically run from what I've seen. The one I got from Petty's Garage was super sweet, super cool looking, and said PG for Petty's Garage. Wanted to have the spirit of the king himself running, but we'll have to send that back. The 05 Durango works fine. I could not find a torque spec on this. Just take a 1/4 inch drive ratchet and some red Loctite. These are chamfered bolts, so they can only go so tight. Just get them snugged up there. Don't be training for the local tough man to decide to really romp on it, because they're a star bit and they're just a tiny bolt, and one of those things snap off, you're in big trouble, because this piece is important. I pulled the main bearings out of the block itself, and yeah, these things are going to get replaced. But in the meantime, we'll be waiting on parts, waiting on things, get this thing back assembled, and we'll be on to step 2. Thanks guys, appreciate it. Like and subscribe. We'll be on to more adventures.